data analytics and the supply chain. Joining us today to speak about that important topic as well as the current state of logistics and supply chain operations is Mahesh Raja Saran, the CEO of Cleo. Mahesh, it's great to see you once again.
Thank you, Russell.
Mahesh, let's kind of set the stage, if we might, and talk about the current state of logistics, of the industry, of supply chain. What's going on there in your view, and what is it that operators need to plan for as we move further into 2024? What do you say?
There's a lot of uncertainty in the market, in the economy, in the world. If you look at all the geopolitical events, there is no real normalcy. It's all uncertain. And
that is the new normal, uncertainty.
Uncertainty is the new normal. In fact, when we were coming out of the COVID pandemic, late 2021, everyone thought we were back to a sense of normalcy. And see what happened in 2022, we had the Ukraine issue, and then the tensions in China. And now, late 23, we saw Red Sea and the Panama Canal, freight is getting shut down. So really, uncertainty is the new certainty. And so what companies need is they need to build a lot of resilience and agility in their operations. And that's critical because it's very critical to survive during these times and then prepare yourself when the eventual upturn happens, which will happen. The economy is like a rubber band. When the eventual upturn happens, it's only those companies that have nimbleness in their operations that can turn on a dime when faced with business challenges, can get ahead, can jockey for market positions and take leadership and grab market share with.
Well, given that these disruptions and these adversities are no doubt going to continue, then clearly operators need to protect themselves, build in that resiliency that you're talking about with the appropriate investment in technologies. So I guess the question to you would be, technology trends that you see going on right now that people really need to be familiar with, what would you say?
I'm seeing a lot of focus on digitalization, and more specifically, people are accelerating the movement of systems, applications, and workloads to the cloud. Right? This is not a new phenomenon, it's been happening for 10 years, but I think now, given all the uncertainty, people are accelerating the shift to the cloud, shifting the ERP systems, the e-commerce systems, and primarily it's because they want to get closer to the customer. Right? They want to have the agility and nimbleness to make sure that they are transparent, they have control over the supply chain so that they can really get ahead. And specifically, if you look at logistics and transportation, we are still in an era where there is a lot more capacity, there is pricing pressures, and so companies are focused on when the new normal is going to come, which I think is going to be the back half of the year. And I think those companies which are getting proactive and investing in technology will get ahead when the market turns. Right? What you really want to do is you want to empower human beings with a technology edge. It's not technology for the sake of technology. It's really getting close to the customers and empowering the humans to be able to interact and build those relationships, which is tech enabled. And that's really what I'm seeing.
You have a promising view of what might happen in the second half of the year, and that is good to hear, I must say. If we're hearing a word over and over again these days, it is data. Data, right? So we mentioned data analytics just a moment ago. Let's drill down into that just a bit right now. Tell me your view on data analytics in the supply chain. What do you say?
Data analytics is extremely important in the context of data-driven decision making, right? I see a lot of data being out there. The real challenge and the question is, do you get the right level of data in terms of consistency, in terms of quality, in terms of timeliness, so you can look at the information across the supply chain and across the various departments in your organization, so you can make data-driven decisions. And to me, it's all about closing the loop, which is following the Deming principle of plan, do, check, act. So whenever there is any leading indicator which is flashing yellow or red, how do you make course corrections by making the information available to the various decision makers and stakeholders so you can get back to the plan? And that's extremely important. And so data-driven decision making is going to be the difference between winners and losers. And being objective allows you to make, very objective decisioning, which is going to, avoid ambiguity, and you can steer clear of uncertainty.
Well, it's clear that when we are swimming in data, we really need to have a method whereby we're picking and utilizing the right
Yes.
data for sure. Okay, so now we've talked about trends, we've talked about technologies, we've talked about data. Taking all of this into consideration, how is it that the viewer, the operator, is going to operationalize all of this in your view? What do you say?
What's extremely important is people have to focus on business processes and make sure those business processes are fluid and transparent, so that you have, one, control over your supply chain, and two, you have a clear view of the customer. And one of the challenges I've seen being in supply chain for the last 20 plus years is there are a lot of silos being built, right? People are focusing on the demand side, people are focusing on the supply side, on the fulfillment side, on the inventory side. What's really important is to have the customer first and look through the entire supply chain from the view of the customer. So there is convergence across the various functions, like inbound logistics, outbound logistics, manufacturing, right? So that is what I think is lacking, and that is what I see the leading companies are taking a supply chain convergent view to look across the silos. And that's where the biggest lift is going to happen, not by optimizing the silos. There'll be some benefit in each of the silos, but when you look across, you're going to get maximum benefit. And to do that, you need to move applications to the cloud, you need to look at the right data, be able to orchestrate the systems so you can quickly make data-driven decisions.
Let's turn, for the benefit of the viewer, to the role that you see Cleo playing in all of this. And in fact, for the benefit of the viewer that's not really familiar with the company, tell us more specifically what the focus of Cleo is. What do you say?
So Cleo has been focused over the last 10 years in building this category called ecosystem integration. And the whole objective is to enable strong supply chain execution across all the silos. And what we do is we essentially a cloud-based solution. We connect customers with suppliers, with the back office systems, the e-commerce systems, the ERP systems, all with a view of taking a business process-centered view to enable smooth functioning in the supply chain. And what I've seen is people have done a good job in strategy, people have done a good job in planning, but the supply chain execution layer is really missing. There are pockets of work being done in transportation management, in warehouse management, but Cleo is the only company which is focused on end-to-end supply chain execution.
Ecosystem integration, now that really does tear down those silos that we were just talking about. Mahesh, it is great to see you once again. Thank you for sitting down and speaking with us today. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Russell. Thank you.
Mahesh Raja Saran, Cleo, speaking with us today about ecosystem integration, data analytics, and the state of the supply chain. Thanks for watching.